Society and sports always go hand in hand, but at times in India, we just kind of tend to ignore the community development and the engagement in the overall development of the ecosystem. And against the backdrop of the Asian Cup, a very important community development project is kind of getting unnoticed. What is it? To speak more about it, we felt on your own storytelling platform, Bol Dada Bol, to understand the concept better. And a legend is coming to India, the baby-faced assassin, former Manchester United player, also has been a coach, Ole Gunnar Solskjær. And to speak more about it, who's bringing him the entire concept? Manchester United fan, a avid Man U fan, founder of Ace of Pubs, Tilak Gaurang Shah, avid quizzer himself, an anchor, leads a bunch of trivia enthusiasts, I am told, to host the best pub quiz in various locations all over the country. Tilak, thank you for joining us. Privileged to have you.
Oh, no, thank you for having me, Nilanjan. And I'm so happy to be able to speak with you and reach out to all of Bol Dada Bol listeners and followers and patrons. Super excited for this.
We are equally excited, in fact, more. But a first question: do you have a license to go into the pub? You come straight out of school, Tilak. Very honest.
Uh, I'm glad you feel that way, but the amount of white hair that I have should easily substitute for the face, I suppose. But no, thank you. And I am 29 years of age. She will be 30 in no time. But no, thank you. Yeah.
17 or 18 you look. So, tell a bit more about yourself. What is this pub quiz? Sounds interesting.
So I've always enjoyed hosting events from school, from college. When I eventually got a job at a consulting firm, I got placed there from college. I still always looked out for outlets for hosting events, engaging audiences, holding the microphone, entertaining audiences. And it couldn't happen as much while I was at my full-time corporate desk job. So I happened to attend a pub quiz, and I'm like, okay, this allows me to uh, stay active post office hours, do what I enjoy while still, making sure that I have the job, which allows the inflow of funds, to be honest. And then yeah, that's just how it started to now that was a passion project once a week, maybe once in 2 weeks, to now doing about 200, 250 events every month, with a massive team that does it more often than I do. I do miss hosting events myself on ground at pubs as much because I don't get the time with, the kind of projects that we're talking about take up 18 or 20 hours in a day. But yeah, that's where it started from. I love quizzing. It's something which really, even if you're super tired at the end of a long day, that's something that you can make energy for. I love pub quizzing because what we've done in India, what we're trying to do in India, not like we're like flag bearers or we've invented the concept, but what we're trying to do is promote regular quizzing as a form of entertainment and engagement. The minute anybody at large thinks about a quiz in India, they're thinking about KBC or Bonvita Quiz Contest, which is all incredible in its own way, but that's not for them to be on the hot seat. Out here, we give them that hot seat. But yeah, that's where it stems from, and we have like a team across 24 cities of over 200 people who host events on ground on a regular basis, all passion driven. That's where it started from.
But that's a unique concept. Surely I will be wanting to drop in one day. Obviously, not a quizzer, but someone who'll just hold the beer, stand in a corner, and listen and try to kind of enlighten myself a bit more.
But that's what I'm saying. You don't have to be a quizzer to be able to
Exactly.
enjoy a quiz with Ace of Pubs. You just have to like, are you on social media?
Definite. Everyone
Do
is.
you talk to people at home and at work about things happening outside of your personal life?
Absolutely.
That's about it. That's all that you need to know to be able to attend an Ace of Pubs, because we don't want to find who's the best quizzer out there. We want to find who can have, and we want to try and make sure that we can all have as much fun being out there. Everybody likes being recognized for something that they know versus others that don't know. And it's just stuff that you scroll on social media. We want to keep the content fun, relatable, open to everyone.
In fact, to all friends, followers, and fans of Bol Dada Bol, that's the reason we have Tilak out here. Because, whenever we go to a pub, what we do is we sit with our friends, drink, chat, come back. Do we make new friends? Do we go out into new initiatives? We don't. We don't really interact or engage in the community development project in pubs or bars. We are very much kind of introverts out there, our community. But this is what community engagement is all about. Tilak. Very
And
honest,
what
very
what
honest.
you said about meeting friends and meeting new people. Ace of Pubs has been around for nearly 6 years now. And I can cry thinking about it sometimes, but we've had people who have met at quiz nights and have gotten married as well. I mean, yeah, that's so they started attending and they're like, okay, we're going to team up again the next time. No, 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 no. Fast forward, they're getting married or they're already married. I know that somebody's even expecting a child now out of one of our patrons, couple patrons. So yeah, it's very fulfilling in a lot of
God,
ways.
God bless everyone. God bless everyone. Just to let all know that the company also specializes in sports management, focusing on talent management, sports events, experiences, ticketing, and more from the world of sports. Right, Tilak?
That's correct. I mean, we're getting there. Ace of Pubs is a bootstrapped startup, so we don't have like a surplus of a corpus of funds that now, okay, now we're going to do this, we're going to do this. We're taking it as and when each step comes up. It is a proprietorship. Ace of Pubs is within the F&B space. Ace of Trades, it's under the same legal entity, but a different brand, which is under the corporate engagement space. Ace Brewing is a new beer company that I've launched last year in Maharashtra, a craft beer in a can, and it's called 12th Man Brewing, which is the cricket reference of 12th Man, and it's your best game day crew. And this, of course, all of this is under Ace of Pubs because that is the known brand. But this one, what we're planning to launch with Ole coming down is Ace of Blades, which is exactly all the things that you said is what we want to do. And this is the first of it on a big level. We've been doing smaller events in the past, but yeah.
Cheers, cheers for all of that. You mentioned about the baby-faced assassin.
Yes.
Means tell us a story behind this. Why is he coming out to India? How did you convince him? What is it all about? What will he be doing? All questions together.
Yeah, no, of course. I'm a big Man United fan. I've been supporting the club for nearly 2 decades now. I've been visiting Old Trafford only for the last 10 years or so. But right from your days in school, when you're following the Premier League, back then when it was called the Barclays Premier League. So when I got the chance to, interact with him last year at a social gathering, I told him that we're here in the middle of Manchester, where everybody is known to is obvious to know you and love you, and you've lived here for most of your adult life, being a player and then a manager. But you know what, you should check out our community in India, where dare I say there might be some more passionate, more crazy fans than what you see here in Manchester. And he was just surprised. He was like, to their mind in general at large, and not in a bad way, they perceive India to be a little too far from Manchester, so they don't really see, they see 75,000 fans every week here at Old Trafford, but they don't see the impact, and in they probably have heard of it as well, they've felt it, they've read about it, but they've not been there. So I told him that should you want to experience it, should you want to know how much we love Ole Gunnar Solskjær in India, how much we love Manchester United in India. I'd love to host you for a weekend. Come over. And this way we can, even work on getting somebody like him to interact with our community of followers, management, football stakeholders in India to get to know about what it's like playing for a club like Man United, and then one step above, what it's like managing a mammoth, a juggernaut of a club like Manchester United.
Definitely. So his schedule starts in Bengaluru, right? And then he
That's
moves to Mumbai and Delhi.
That's perfect. 9th, 10th, and 11th of February.
So this is more of a community development program which you are means kind of aiming at.
100%. When we use the term community development, of course, it may come with couple of assumptions on the same line where it is something that has no necessary commercial implications, but that's not the case. Flying down an entire crew from Norway and Manchester and their management fees, and then the hotels that we've gotten ITC Hotels as our venue partners, India's most luxurious hotel chains. So community development, 100%. At the same time, it's more on the lines of getting a chance to experience and engage with somebody who's been there, done that, winning the Champions League, the manner in which he did, the Premier League, the FA Cup, you name it, he's won it all. And then to come back as a manager as well, it's incredible. Yeah.
We have had comebacks, but that was the mother of all comebacks.
Yeah.
The Champions League final means. What do you say? Means as a fan, I would like to means very much hear from you your passion still.
Oh, I mean, just right
That
now, I don't know
match.
if you can see it, but just thinking about it, I have goosebumps. Coincidentally, right now, I was in Manchester I am in Manchester for a couple of meetings, and obviously I attended the game on Sunday. And I'm put up at Hotel Football right now,
Mhm.
and because they knew of, I'm bringing Ole down, they got me into what they call the 1999 suite. So I don't want to show the rest of the room, it'll be embarrassing, but that's Ole's um, uh, silhouette scoring that goal. There's Fergie time on the corner over here, and then there's like the entire script of that moment from the 100th minute onwards to the um so all I mean we can't go to it, but everything because that moment is so iconic for a club like Manchester United, and I'm just like seeing this view a decade ago when I came down the first time. Every time I would cross it in the bus or the tram or the taxi, I would click a picture thinking about it. And now just to know that it's where I wake up to every day before, it's just crazy. Yeah. So as a fan, I feel blessed. Ace of Pubs is bootstrapped. Everything that has gone into it, everything that we've made out of it is debt free. Is the business is touchwood small but steady and successful. So yeah, I make it a point to like visit Old Trafford 3 or 4 times every month as far as I can when I get some time off of work. I've seen United. I've never seen United lose a Premier League game at Old Trafford in 10 years, and that includes 3 times Liverpool, 2 times Tottenham, 2 times Leicester, twice Chelsea. So it's not like it was all the minnows only, and then of course Bournemouth, Wolves, Fulham, and so on. But yeah, as a fan, I can cry thinking about the experiences that I've been blessed with, and then now this being the biggest. I'm not so much a promoter or an event organizer for Ole as much as I'm a fan, and I'm just happy that I can do this for our country to bring Man United closer to India.
Definitely. You have been lucky. God has been kind. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
That's it. You know what? Tell you just sharing a story. My cousin sister, she has never been a sports fan. She was based in Manchester for her studies for almost, I believe, 6 to 7 years, late 90s. And when she first went to Manchester, I used to regularly kind of email at that time. Just the email, Rediff mail had was in existence, and she used to say during the initial stages, "Oh my goodness, people shouting! There's so much traffic. There's a match." I said, "Be there, be there, be there, be there." We
Yeah.
used to write letters at that time, and eventually she did. And
Yeah.
today she swears by Manchester United.
Lovely. Yeah. I mean, when you enter that stadium, when you are looking at that pitch, and then when you start learning about the history of the club and the Munich air tragedy to within 10 years from there going on to win the Champions League, which is the most coveted, the most difficult trophy in the world. Uh, Probably second only to the World Cup, but also this is in its own way more competitive and challenging because of the way it goes. I mean, when you learn about Man United and then what they did in '99, what they did in 2008, the Sir Alex Ferguson era, the 20 times Premier League champions of the league, which is so difficult, so grueling, so challenging. Yeah, it's tough to not fall in love with the club. I feel her.
There's something about the city. Once you land at the bus stop, the cricket stadium on the left, and
Yeah.
the Old Trafford at the on the right hand side. I need to ask you a question. This is a question which the Indian football fraternity always. Huh? They feel that people who follow or fans who follow fan groups who follow European football are not much in sync with the Indian football setup. The AFC Asian Cup is on as we speak, right at the current moment. Do you follow the Indian national team too?
Of course, it's something that I take immense pride in for everything that our team is doing and performing, despite of a lot of known challenges which are out there at a grassroots level. The game against Australia was at a very not so comfortable time here in the UK. It is tough to see that team not do what we would have liked. But the idea is to try and bring, I mean, I'm a very small, what's the right word? Enabler or a very small stakeholder in this bigger ecosystem, but I'm trying to do my bit where someone like an Ole Gunnar Solskjær coming to India, um, and mind you, the way legends visit the country so far is highly inaccessible in its own ways. And I've tweeted about this recently as well, where the time when David Beckham came to India last year, he was seen in Ahmedabad as doing some work for UNICEF as an ambassador. The next day, he was seen in Mumbai at 1K Day and at three celebrity houses, the pictures of which came out the next day. And the that night later, he flew out. No fans knew about anything, got a chance to interact with him, got a chance to meet him. On the other hand, Ronaldinho had also come down last year for the inauguration of a beautiful Durga Puja Pandal, and airport security pushing and shoving, fans dying for a selfie, fans dying for a signature, security pushing them all away. Again, there was no quality. So either it's too classy or it's too massy, but there's no real way in which fans can get a chance, in which stakeholders of Indian football communities can get a chance to actually sit down and hear them with no other broadcaster or sponsor or league sitting on their head. But no, so sorry. I mean, this attempt is to make sure that it is a bit of the class. It is a little bit of everybody can do it. You can buy a ticket and attend this event, as against it's an invite only event or there's no chance whatsoever. I follow it very closely. My brother-in-law was the vice president of FC Pune City in the ISL, so I used to follow the ISL very closely as well. Before obviously the club. I mean, now things are very different, but the level of football and it is different when you're following it in Europe and when you are in India. I don't know how the rest of the community sees it at large, but it is the truth. That being said, I'm trying in my own capacity, starting with Ole, to bridge the gap in the smallest of ways. It's easier said than done. But yeah, yeah.
You answered my next question. The balance between the masses and the classes need to be
Yeah.
struck, and that was my next question as to how it would help Indian football. I got my answer. We are speaking about Ole Gunnar Solskjær coming to India, the baby-faced assassin. There's also a baby. Not many people know about this. There's someone in Indian football who's always referred to as a baby.
Of
And it's
course.
Sunil Chhetri, because he started his club career at the age of 14, 15, and legendary Baichung Bhutia first saw him and said, "Are ye bacha yahan kya kar raha hai?" And that till that from that time, the bacha tag or the baby tag has always stayed with him. Have you ever interacted, or how do you see Sunil as an inspiration?
Oh, I mean, even right now when he's going at his age and he's always had this never say never attitude. He's been the rallying cry for Indian football for so long. Being the leading goal scorer and all of that comes second to being the flag bearer for a much stronger movement. You've got to think we're a country of 1.4 billion people. It's just a matter of time till there is more investments in the grassroots levels. There's more talent coming out. There's more commitment. There's more dedication. I know so um, Man United fans and journalists here in Manchester and England who are of Indian origin and who are personally always working on their goal is to get Indian players into these clubs here, to get that kind of exposure, to see at what level clubs here operate. So when fans, a lot of the, as you said, AIFF and other, a lot of people always say that, oh, you're supporting a European club instead of you should be doing the same. I get a lot of tweets saying you should do this with Sunil Shetty and said maybe we will someday. But that's not the idea. The way it should be seen is that there is a lot to learn for all of us. There is a lot to take away. There is a lot to replicate, and not in a bad way. In fact, on the contrary, we have so many people who are keen on getting that same knowledge and access to that knowledge to India. um, Ole is coming down from a similar perspective where he does after chatting with me before we actually closed on dates. There was a lot of conversation on what happens about football in India, and he's aware some of his friends like Ashley Westwood and there have been other people who have been managing clubs in India. I forget the gentleman name of the gentleman who was the manager of FC Pune City, the Aston Villa legend, David Platt. These are known names. Obviously, it takes a while for India to attract that kind of talent right off the bat when they're at their peak, but it's happening, and it's a journey. It's not going to happen overnight, but yeah.
Ole's contribution as a player, obviously, we have spoken about. As a manager, how do you rate him? I'm asking this because you are a die-hard Manchester United fan. And Manu's, your views on Manu this season.
So, since you said as a player, we've already discussed it, but it is imperative to bring that up again. What he's achieved as a player while not being a regular starter all the time because of injury concerns and so many other things that Ole will talk about himself when he's in India, with no press or media around. He's going to be a lot more. He can let his guard loose a bit in a good way, I mean. But what he's achieved coming off the bench in 99 versus scoring 5 goals in a game versus helping United win so many trophies, especially the Premier League, is incredible. As a manager, when Sir Alex Ferguson retired, in his speech then he had said, and even if he wouldn't have said it, I think it goes without saying that you have to back the manager now, and that he wasn't the manager then. David Moyes had been elected. Um, as a Man United fan, as a diehard fan, as whatever you want to call it, my job is to support the team through thick and thin, to support the manager, to be there. I take immense pride in the fact that I have like a location, an area, or a seat in the Stretford end. So, and I only visit like 4 or 5 times a year, but my friends there keep it for me. And we are the loudest in the entire stadium. We're what is called the TRA, the Red Army. And amongst them, I am I don't know how I sound right now, but I'm a bit hoarse because 48 hours ago, United was playing Spurs over here, and I've lost my voice from then. So, as a manager, obviously some things went in his favor, some things didn't. As with everybody, it's very difficult to have a Sir Alex Ferguson, but even Sir Alex Ferguson at the start of his career had even more grave problems than what the likes of David Moyes and Louis van Gaal and Eric Ten Hag is also facing, along with Ole. I backed him. I still do. I know there's more emotion than practical rationale behind it. There were I don't I think a lot of United fans would agree that there were moments where we were at our best in the form of playing football under him. We finished second in the Premier League. We reached the finals of the Europa League and we lost the 11th penalty kick. It's tough. You didn't get the trophy to show for it, but at the end of the day, it is going to not it is going to stay that way. But it was a game that went down to the last kick of the ball after extra time. So yeah, maybe someday Ole will maybe we'll see him again on the touchline when he would have had maybe some time off. And yeah, let's see. I backed him.
Definitely keep chanting GGMU. Before we let you go, is this just a one-off event? Curious to understand and know, or is this just the start of a beginning of a series of such community development programs? And he has used very categorically and placed it in the best manner, the balance between the classes and the masses.
Oh, 100%. This is my first time as well, so I'm learning so many things about this field of events, this area of events. But Ace of Pubs, we started off in 2017 till 2020, 3 years. I was in it 100% till eventually my team started taking over more than me. And when we started focusing on Ace of Trades, where now Ace of Pubs does 250 events every month. Ace of Trades does corporate events for the likes of Apple, Google, Facebook, Snapchat, the RBI, the Times of India. We do corporate engagement, team building, offsites, retreats, those kind of events. And Ace of Trades took 3 years till 2023 to really. Now it's like we're on Google's auto speed dial. When they want to do anything, they just give us a call, and there's very little conversation because they know we'll take care of it end to end. I am focusing the next 3 years, not categorically, it can be more, it can be less, on these kind of events. Um, I know for a fact, and while I'm here, I'm speaking to so many journalists here in the UK, very popular ones who most, if not all of our followers here at Bold the Other Bold would also be following without taking names. They're all looking at this event very closely because this is the first time an event like this is happening in India where it's a ticketed event to have this, and it's not a sponsor. It's not a sponsor who's bringing him down. Sorry, it's not a league who's bringing him down. We know for a fact that Wayne Rooney, Ryan Giggs, Paul Scholes, Gary Neville, Rio Ferdinand, Eric Cantona, Frank Lampard, Steven Gerrard, they're all looking at this event rather closely because it involves them learning a little more about India by being there. Some of them have been to India. Wayne was here for the World Cup last year, the broadcast 2022. But again, he was in the capacity of a broadcaster, not in what we are doing. This is the first of many to come. It is a journey, of course, but I'm confident we're going to shake things up a lot over the years to come.
First of the many to come. Let's walk the path forward together in the new beginning. Tilak, lovely speaking to you, man. Lovely speaking to you, man. Look forward to meeting you in person. And if I am at all in a pub, I'll go and complain. You need to check his ID proof, whether he's 18 plus or not.
Yeah, no,
Honestly.
no, we can show that, but that's fine. No, tickets are live on Zomato currently for all three cities, and don't miss out on this chance to, come down, see Manchester United's most loved player to have ever worn the red of Manchester. Thank you, Nilanjan.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Lovely talking, and God bless. And let's walk the path forward together. Thank you.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.